Well, hello there to possibly one of my lowest quality videos ever posted on my channel. Of course, the one day I don't bring anything, Capital Games decides to post crap. What are you doing? I think they have it out for me. Anyways, welcome to today's episode of AHN AhnaldT News on the Go. I'm here joined with my co-host Kylo. Kylo, wanna go some? Go some. Go get it. Hope he doesn't drown. I probably should.
Oh, God.
Can you find it? Should I tell him that he can't find a rock in the bottom of the lake? Okay. Well, hopefully he can find his way back. Anyways, on to the news here on AHN. We're on our final tail end of our trip here in Colorado. If you can see the mountains back there, we were coming out of the mountains, lovely trail, found this beautiful lake, thanks to Gary, aka the most beautiful being over there to the right, aka the Bronco. Of course, you didn't get in the shot.
I did.
What did I pay you for? Anyways. We're going to talk about some news that Capital Games decided to randomly drop on a Friday. We got some news about Galactic Legends Leia Organa, how she's going to operate. We have info on the last batch of requirements for Leia, and we got some insight on the brand new raid coming. And on top of that, holy cow, Lobot's getting a rework. Woo! Don't give me that face. This is all part of the job here. All right, what I want to do first, I want to take you down to the final batch requirements. This is unheard of, unprecedented. They released part 2 requirements earlier this week. Part 3, are you okay? Bye, Kylo. Part 3 requirements in the same week. Coincidence? I think not. It's because I'm here. Kylo, no, don't leave me. Okay, you keep an eye on it. Anyways, as we expected, Captain Drogon's gonna be the 4th marquee character. Technically, Captain Rex was released before the Leia was announced, but I'm counting it as one of the marquees. So 4 marquees. All Relic 7 needed for Nisa, Captain Rex, the Scout Troopers. By the way, we'll be doing that next week. I have no signal, of course, except today I have signal finally. We'll be doing that next week. And Captain Drogon needed Relic 7. Otherwise, everything else for these requirements are looking fantastic. Commander Luke Skywalker, Relic 7. I mean, like, almost everyone's got Relic 7 Commander Luke Skywalkers if you're rocking them nowadays. And they even said in this post that they're going to do their best not to pull away characters from the established Commander Luke team. That was one of the biggest concerns. I was expecting Commander Luke was going to evolve into this new team. I guess not, so that's great. Bausch Leia, you already got her for Jabba the Hutt. This is awesome. 3PO and Chewie, I mean, come on. That's Relic 7 as well. And then Lobot, Relic 3, probably the worst of the requirements so far, but there's a rework coming. So we'll find out more about that. Overall, guys, very reasonable requirements for Leia. People are expecting profundity, something crazy like Raven's Claw 2. This is some of the most generous requirements, but it might make sense because as we're going to take a look over at their little insight for Leia, they kind of spoiled us a couple days ago. She's more of an offensive Galactic Legend. Where'd you go, Kylo? Kylo, what are you doing? Hutch do. Yeah, come on, buddy, what you doing? Oh, did you find the rock? I know it's kind of mean of me. You're never gonna find that rock. Anyways, moving on to so we have CGABC, designer for Galactic Legend Leia Organa, telling us here that she was taking such an iconic character like Leia Organa and having her feel like the powerful tactical leader of the Royal Force has been one of the most compelling challenges I have ever had to face so far. I wanted her to be a reflection of the strong leader she was by willingly being on the front lines and never being afraid to face down those enemies who sought to see her defeated. She's trying to give you Wappa.
I don't want it.
You don't want Wappas?
No.
Oh. As the leader, Leia was able to take control of the harshest situations and able to fight on her terms. To reflect this in the gameplay, the rebels should dictate the flow of battle, and therefore nobody should be manipulating their abilities in a way to catch the rebels off guard. So Leia levels the battlefield by making both teams, enemy and allies, immune to cooldown reduction. Manipulation, so you can't reduce, you can't increase. Interesting, so a little bit more predictable. I guess maybe they're trying to make this like maybe anti-nihilist. There's a couple things that have cooldown manipulation. So it's gonna be a little bit more predictable. Kind of Kenobi controls all turn meter gains. You can't gain it or lose it. Kind of the same deal going on here, but check this out. She can fracture an entire enemy team. Something that made Thrawn special. Now I guess Leia's got it. When I was working on the alternate and presented the initial idea, the feedback was it was strong, but it needed to be better. It needed something that could really tip the power scale in their favor. I looked at how the animation would be impacting the battlefield, and it just felt like the enemies would be shaken up and the ground would be split. It felt like the entire enemy team should be fractured. Ooh, can we get a little zoom in?
I did already.
Yeah, that's what I paid the big bucks for. The goal is to provide players with tools throughout the kit to make strategic decisions, to take down the priority target she'll be facing. Capturing her ability to empower those around her was also something important to express throughout her synergies and decision making on offense. Her capabilities are competitive with the top squads in the game, and the squad she leads is a great option against almost any other squad. We'll have to wait and see what that's like. During testing, empowering the right ally with Leia's abilities has led to some significant damage output, oftentimes eliminate an opponent in one blow. So notice they didn't point out defensive. A couple days ago, they said that she's going to be a very offensive heavy Galactic Legend. That might be why these requirements, I mean, when we consider Galactic Legends besides Marquise, which is a very short-term problem, in the long term, these are some of the most reasonable requirements we've seen for a Galactic Legend thus far. So this is very awesome, and it nests so well. The Master Luke, the Jedi Knight Luke, Jabba the Hutt, big thumbs up here, but that might be why she's mostly offensive, but she might be good on defense, but let's wait till it gets in our hands, yeah? So in the next couple months, she'll be needed in Conquest. That's kind of a new thing. We haven't really needed Galactic Legend specific, like use Leia XYZ or use Jabba, so we'll see how people feel about that. Galactic Challenges, this is kind of new too. Normally we don't get specific call-outs for Galactic Legends. You giving him a good show, buddy? Yeah. Where are you going? You want another rock?
No, stop.
You want a rock?
No.
Go get the rock.
No.
Oh, there you go. All right. Onward ho, my friends. Data crunch, everyone's favorite anti-counter events. There's going to be a new tier to Endor Escalation. I'm surprised they haven't done much of that, so I'm glad they're finally adding more on the Endor Escalation. So kind of like Jabba. What are you doing, bud? No, get back here. You gotta admire him. He has no idea. He's gonna keep looking for that rock that I threw. Oh, okay. Yeah, something smells good over there. Don't you guys love this? This is, out of all the many years, I feel like my first videos on my channel are much better quality than this. Anyways, speaking of her squad, I already kind of spoiled it. It was important that players would not need to take apart their Commander Luke Skywalker. They even put the acronyms in. CLS squad to create the ideal Leia team. Now, this was my speculation because CLS has been getting, he's good, but he's losing a little bit of his flavor, the panache that came along with him. So I expect that he's going to kind of upgrade into Leia. Apparently not. I think that's good. I kind of want Commander Luke to be his own thing. You should be able to build a strong GL Leia squad while keeping your CLS squad intact. And a key part of pulling this off was designing Captain Drogan aside her. And as far as I can tell, unless they're going to release another post today, I see you, Capital Games. Hey, he's having the time of his life. That's all that matters. That's what we strive for here at AHN, yeah. You get a good view of that. You know, just keep the camera in him. You don't need to see me right now. So so we'll find more about Captain Drogan. I guess he's going to be kind of like a lifter, quote unquote. Not a conflict, but he's going to be enabling. He's going to be enabling Leia to not use Commander Luke Skywalker. Okay, let's talk about the new raid, which is officially coined Speeder Bike Pursuit Raid. So they increased the requirements, not the requirements, but the eligible characters. Now Leia's on there, Captain Drogan, Scout Trooper, Princess Nyssa, Captain Rex. Man, I'm excited to test out Scout Troopers. Hopefully we can get a lot of good stuff out of it. So we've seen all these requirements or eligible characters needed for that. And they've heard some of the concerns and feedback about the cadence, the release scheduling for all this. So they talk a little bit about this. Let's take a look at it. Speeder Bike Pursuit Raid update. The rewards for the upcoming Speeder Bike Pursuit Raid will be in parity with the existing crate rewards. And here we go, the Mark III currency. So a couple days ago, we kind of heard that it's moving, but there was so much ambiguity. We didn't really know. Now we kind of have the clarification. As noted in a previous post, when Speeder Bike Pursuit arrives later this year, it'll become the new featured raid. As such, we'll be moving Mark III currency from the Crate Dragon Hunt and putting it into the Speeder Bike Pursuit Raid reward track. Just like the Crate Dragon Raid, if you hit the guild milestones 1 or higher, the Speeder Bike Pursuit, you will receive Mark III currency. So, man, kind of sucks that they're taking, I don't like that they're taking away. Couldn't they just add a new reward to the new raid and just leave the crate as is? Because we had this whole discussion. I don't want to get too much into it, but it feels like the return on investment's not being respected as much in the game anymore. Like my Bauschle Omicron's kind of useless in a couple months here, and all these other teams that you may have built up. The good news is on the bright side, at least this raid, who knows, the next raid that replaces this raid might not be as generous. A lot of these characters are fantastic, and a lot of them you already have built up for a variety of legendaries, galactic legends, and whatnot. So I don't suspect people are going to have as much of a problem with the requirements with this raid compared to Crate Dragon. Now people have Tuskens and Jawas up and running. Hutt Cartel is still kind of new. But I do want to point out, although this is generous, we don't know the next raid. The next raid could be, stupid stuff. Like you're going to need to have, I don't know, you're going to have T-bows and stuff like that. Things that people don't really want to gear up. or Night Sister Acolyte and stuff like that. So that's what I'm putting. Although it's generous now with the eligible characters, I'm still not a fan that they're moving instead of just adding to the new raids. That's usually every time you got a new raid in the past, they would keep the old raids and they would just add a new reward track alongside it. So a little bit annoying. And speaking of raid cadence, we have the raid cadence and raid length that we got to talk about. So they've been closely monitoring the feedback required for the future raid participation and plan to adjust this with the release of the next raid. We are looking to take a 3-day cadence and adjust it to 6 days. So basically almost once a week, and sometimes you'll get 2 a week, with the intention of the change to allow players more downtime between raid launches. To achieve this, we'll be maintaining the same duration of the raid, but we'll double the start cost and rewards so that players will get the same value rewards they had when they ran multiple raids in the same time frame. This will ease the stress of needing to constantly launch a raid after completing one of affecting rewards. I'm down with this. I think 2 is a little too much. I do want, it's like, oh crap, there's another one going on here. So I'm a fan of it. I think it should be maybe once a week. And I still think they should alternate between crate and this new speeder bike. You know, let us do the other one. I just feel like playing the same raid over and over again gets a little monotonous at some point, but they're going a different direction. And lastly, we didn't have this info as well. How long is a raid going to be featured? So they're releasing raids at a faster pace, which is awesome, but they want to give us kind of an estimate of how long feature raids will be around. It'll be featured between 8 to 9 months. So it seems like basically every year we're going to get a new raid. You got to keep that in mind when you're investing in all these characters. Maybe don't put those Omicrons out. Scout your Omicron might be fantastic like Leia, but do you really want to invest in Omicron that's guaranteed to die off in 8 to 9 months? Not in my book, let me tell y'all. So that's my biggest concern with all this is that I feel like, you know, there's so much ambiguity. We didn't know how things were going to work, and it just sucks that the stuff that you invested in before, it's not going to be respected moving forward. So there's definitely going to be a minimal, maximum type of thing when you're investing in these characters. We're going to want to keep an eye out, but again, at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is what people have a lot of these characters. So I'm not too concerned about this raid, but future raids, we got to keep that in mind. Thank you for stopping by and reading a post on Galactic Legend Leia Organa. We look forward to listening and reading your feedback. We hope to share more information on upcoming raid mechanics in a future post. So we still got to get the full Leia kit reveal. We got to get the Lobot rework, what that's going to look like. We got to see what Drogon's looking like. Overall, requirements looking pretty darn good for Leia. Loving what I'm seeing in that regard. Just there's that little boo-boo with the Crate Dragon raid moving to Endor and then soon Endor 2, whatever the next raid might be. Kylo, we're going to wrap up this video. You want to show them how good you are chasing the rock? Yeah, you want that. Yeah, you want that. Here we go. We'll catch you next episode.
Oh my God.
The only news you'll ever need because you have no other choice. Ready, Kylo? Go get. Oh, crap. I got a better rock, Kylo. You don't even know which rock it is. Because you have no other choice. Yeah. You get that rock, Kylo. You get that rock. You get it, buddy. You'll find it. Take your time. Take your time. All right, guys, I'll catch you guys back in the next couple days. Hopefully you've enjoyed these videos on the go. And this wraps up my worst quality video of all time. Bye.